is part of a big market. You have different businesses supplying or producing similar products that meet similar needs and wants of customers. For example, you have the car manufacturing market, which is composed of all the businesses that make and sell cars. So that's a market in itself. You might also have hygiene market. Any product, any hygiene product would be part of that market. But inside that market, can I ask you all to mute your audio, please? I'm hearing myself speak and it's not fun.
Mr. Rawa,
Yes,
first of all, they're asking for your email in the chat.
they're asking for my email.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll provide that in the Google Classroom today.
And could you send the slides as well, sir?
Sure, sure.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, you're all free to record the lectures so that you can have it. Actually, I would advise you all to do that because we don't know when we are able to resume classes or whether we're able to take an exam this year, which will cover the sections that we're talking about today. So for next year, I think it would be very, very beneficial if you can go back to these videos and watch them again. So, okay, so let me know if you don't see the slides, by the way. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So I was saying, inside that market, you might have businesses that are producing products that meet special needs of customers, right? So for example, in the car manufacturing business, you have a business that provides family cars. That's a special segment of the market. In the hygiene product, you could have businesses that supply products especially for children, especially for men. So we have a bunch of criteria that we use in order to be able to separate the market into different sections, segments. Okay, so first of all, that's market segmentation. So let's see what criteria is used by businesses to separate, to segment the market. We have two, it's actually four. You'll take the next two in S and A level. For this year, we only have geographic and demographic segmentation, okay? So geographic segmentation is to separate your market according to its geographical location. You might supply a product only to a neighborhood. A barber shop is a really good example to this. Okay, so no barber shops exist in this neighborhood, and it's a type of business that has convenience as a really important factor. It might be to different states. It might be according to regions, cities, towns. So if you separate your market according to different geographical locations, you use geographics as a factor in segmenting your market. Okay. Next one is demographic. Demographic means a bunch of things. If you separate your market according to age, for example, making a certain type of headphones that is suitable for people to use between the age of 15 to 36, let's say. Okay. So its shape, its design, its features would be different. Also, clothing manufacturers do this all the time. It might also be according to income level. So businesses intentionally sometimes make products that are expensive, high quality, really good, which could only be bought by people who are rich, okay? And they also at the same time make products that could be bought by people with a lower income bracket, okay? The reason we are going to talk about later. So car manufacturers do this all the time. That's why you have usually three different models for cars. You have the basic, then you have the middle model, and then you have the limited edition as well. Each one targeting different people with different income level, okay? It could also be according to social class, upper class, middle class, and lower class, which is very similar to the idea of income. You could also target people based on their gender, obviously. Some products are made for men, some products are made for women. So anytime I mention demographics in business studies, it means those things in general: age, gender, social class, and income level. And you also have culture, religion under demographics, which I did not put there. But culture and religion is a factor as well. For example, if you are a food manufacturer, okay, let's say you make frozen meat, you sell frozen meat, okay, well, you might sell that to your European and American customers, and it could not be halal, okay, meaning the animal is not slaughtered according to Islamic law. But if you are to sell your products to an Islamic country, obviously there are some rules and regulations that you have to follow in killing the animal. And also the products, some products that you can use in making your product, especially in the cosmetics market. You should not use like pork, uh, anything related to pig, the animal, you should not use in your products. Okay, some cosmetics include the blood of the animal. They use the blood of the animal in making the products. You should not do those things. Okay, so that's the idea. We want to segment our market. We want to target different people based on what they want and expect according to those criteria which we already talked about. Now, you might have a question and say, well, how is that different from niche marketing, which we talked about in last lesson? Well, niche marketing is supplying only one product to a specific group of people. So it's more concentrated, okay? While market segmentation, you could be making different products for different segments of the market. So for example, Coca-Cola, they have different types of beverages for different parts of the market segments, okay? But if you end up making one product for one special group of people and that's it, so that's niche marketing. That means you only have one concentration, okay? So you have focus on only one product, one segment. While if you have segmented the market, you're making at the same time, same business. They're making different types of products for different segments of the market. And that's the difference. But it's still very, very similar as a concept. So here I have a bunch of examples to businesses and how they've managed to segment their market. And as a result, have benefited from the advantages of market segmentation, which you have on page 150 in the book. So here, for example, you have Chipotle and how they have meals for kids. So that's the age criterion for under demographics. Netflix is a really good example to geographical segmentation. You might know that Netflix has different offers for different parts of the world. They wouldn't include some movies that they already know through market research that people in that geographical location would not be interested in. I had the mishap of subscribing to some Korean movies. I think someone used my profile to choose some Korean movies as their preference. And now I have all these recommendations of Korean and Chinese movies in my account. They thought that, so they take, I assume that they've taken Asia as a continental segment of their market. Because so they do that a lot. If you subscribe to Netflix in America, the movies and the TV shows that you have in your Netflix would be different. You have more options, or you could have less options. Ford is segmenting their market as according to their customers' need as well. You have big SUVs for family people, and you also have fast cars for younger people. And you also have off-road cars for people who are living in rural areas. So there's a geographical and demographical consideration for how they make their cars. Adidas obviously is doing that as well. They're making clothes, they're making shoes for different genders. And they also have hygiene products for different age groups, for different genders as well. So that's the concept. Now you might already have an idea to why businesses do this. The most obvious one is that, well, you end up with more sales because you are able to sell to more people because you're meeting more people's demands and needs, right? And also, as a result, you increase your profitability. You are able to compete more because remember, in niche marketing, we said that if your products are special, then other businesses would not be able to compete with you easily. In addition to how stretched out you are, now there's less risk to your business failing, right? So for example, if I take Adidas again, if they fail in their hygiene endeavor, then they still have their clothing and shoes manufacturing segment to go on with. So your business would not fail easily, okay? In addition to that, you're able to retain customers. Well, when I see that this business is trying really hard to meet a special demand that my special taste has, then I would be more loyal. I will become more loyal to that business. I would like them more for thinking about me and my needs. Okay, in addition to that, when it comes to not wasting resources, listen, so when businesses do marketing, we talked about this in niche marketing as well. So let's say they do advertisements, they know which segment to target. So they wouldn't give, it's a very simple, it might be even unrealistic example, but it's a good one to understand what I am talking about. So if you, let's say part of your marketing is to hand out brochures to people, like handouts, you wouldn't give it to a 9-year-old if your product is for old people, right? In that case, you did not waste resources. You know who your customers are. So in doing market research, in doing marketing, in doing advertisements, you would focus on that segment of the market and you wouldn't go and be distracted by other segments of the market. Okay? And also you would be able to charge premium price, same as niche marketing, because your products would be special. Okay, so you gain a bunch of benefits from segmenting your market. By the way, this question about segmentation and its benefits, which is really easy, is really important for IGCSE exams, so you should know them. Last piece of today's lesson is about, okay, how do I choose my segment? How do I know that age is a consideration for my business? How do I know that income is a consideration for my business? Well, it depends on what you're selling. So let's say if you are a holiday, a business that okay, so let's say you are a holiday company. So your business facilitates and provides packages to people to go on a holiday in a group. Well, one thing you could do is to separate your offers according to if you're a family or if you are a group of friends. And also if you are a university student or are you a graduate. It depends on your income as well. So you can use price discrimination, give your customers a less expensive offer depending on who they are. So if the family is big and there are a lot of children, then you choose the destinations properly. Maybe Disneyland might become an option for that group of customers. You wouldn't take them to resorts for drinking and partying and so on. It would be a different offer for young people. So that's the idea. And that's the idea of not wasting resources on marketing. I wouldn't bother telling 20-year-olds, university students who are only after fun and party that Disneyland, how about Disneyland? How about you go there and have fun? No. Okay, so that's the idea. So my point was, how do you know which factor to look at when you decide on a segment? Then it depends on what your business is and what you're selling. So it depends. So in the exam, why am I telling you this? In the exam, you might be asked to come up with a good way to separate the market into different sections, segments for a business. Look at what the business is selling and what their service is. Then you might be able to figure out what the segments should be. So for example, let's go back to the Netflix. And for the example, if it's a car manufacturer, then you might say income is a factor. Gender is a factor. By the way, car manufacturers nowadays are starting to make cars for women. Like the color would be different, the interior would be different, and the way it drives would be different as well. Women might be after comfort more than men. Men are after, loud noise, good steering for drifting and so on. Women might not be interested in that. Okay, so that's what I mean by you trying to figure out what the segments are. That's it for today's lecture. I will give you a bunch of activities to do in the book as homework. So go to page 151. Let me write this down in a new slide so that you have it. So you go to page 151. You have activity 10.4. So do that. It's an activity about how you would segment a market for those 4 businesses. It's a really good activity. Okay, so send that to my email. And also, you go to the next page, page 152. You do 1E and 2E. So due date is today's Sunday, is Tuesday. Is that clear? If you have any questions, I am giving you an opportunity to ask them.
Can you post your email on Google Classroom?
I will do that right after the meeting. Okay, so right after the meeting is ended, go to Google Classroom, and I'm going to post my email there.
Sir, are we supposed to like write down the factors for them for exercise 10.4?
Yeah, right. So for example, when I go to a hotel accommodation, okay, so just imagine that you have a hotel and you are trying to segment the market. So for example, one that I can think of for a hotel would be the social makeup of the family. Is it a large family or is it a small family? If it's a large family, then maybe I would offer them bigger rooms with bigger installations, like a bigger kitchen, obviously. And I might also consider that in my pricing decision as well. Another example for the motor cars would be the Ford example that I just told you, for women, for men, the way it drives, how big it is. For the hairdressing, I would say maybe target children, like if you have a barber shop, your business is hairdressing, have a corner in your barber shop for children. Like the chairs would be different. It's not a normal chair, it's a car and a chair, right? And you might also install a small TV on which you can play cartoons, so that you know how annoying children are for when it comes to a haircut, right? And you could also have a separate section for people to be able to wash their hair properly. And you might also target people with, in addition to the haircut, provide hygiene products like hair gel, like shampoo, and so on. And also, according to income, you might have two branches. One of them is provides expensive treatment for the wealthy, and also one for a lower income, targeting lower income people. So that's the idea. So think about it and tell. It doesn't have to be perfect, but try to come up with more than one way to segment the market. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me take registration just quickly, and then if you don't have any further questions, we're done for today. So just give me 1 second so that I write down your names. Okay, we're all done today. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, see you guys soon. Take care.